Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
A person killed on I-85. Part of the interstate in Butner is back open after someone was hit by a car. Why police say they are still trying to find the driver.
And here at 6 o'clock, our temperatures just dropped a little bit more. I'll show you what it will feel like with the wind chill as you step out the door.
And marching to the Triangle, where a group of Buddhist monks will be today as they get closer and closer to Raleigh. And somebody even reached out to me going, do you know where we can find a map of that? Which we do have on WRAL.com. But yes, a lot of people interested in that. Thanks so much for joining us this morning on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yes, a huge following to see their journey of peace. Meanwhile, we're having our own journey through these cold temperatures. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Ooh, it feels like 20s out there.
We are going to be on quite the journey this week. We're going to be talking about it. But let's start with this morning. Skies are clear. Temperatures continue to fall. We have a northeast wind right now, 3 miles per hour. That's not much, but it can still have a significant effect on the way it feels. So we just dropped to 28 degrees. We lost a couple more degrees. We'll continue to see temperatures dropping all the way up until around 8 o'clock this morning. But it feels like 24 in Durham and Raleigh. It feels like 25 in South Hill. The wind chill's on the right, so it feels like 18 in Fayetteville and 20 in Southern Pines. So no matter where you are, you're going to want to bundle up out there this morning. Send the kids out in their heaviest winter coats. We don't climb up above freezing until close to 11 o'clock this morning. And 42 this afternoon puts us at about 10 degrees below normal. So the Polar Express has come to visit us again, and we'll feel this again tomorrow. Really, really cold to start tomorrow. We get a little bump up and then another significant Arctic blast and some precipitation on top of it in time for the weekend. So we do have the threat for a significant winter storm over the weekend. Details coming up in the next couple of minutes or so. We'll talk about what we know right now. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Really quiet start to the morning commute, relatively speaking. I-40, Carytown Boulevard, traffic flowing at a nice steady clip in both directions. And really, that's what we're seeing in all of our major routes coming into the Raleigh-Wake County area, coming in from Apex and US 1 north, no delays whatsoever. Short of a 1-minute delay for friends in Wake Forest coming in on US 1. All the other major routes are delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
We do have a breaking update for you. In the last 10 minutes, I-85 at Butner has reopened, and that was after someone was hit and killed by a car, according to investigators. This happened near NC 56. Let's go ahead and bring in Ali Kadibar and the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, authorities are saying they are still trying to find that driver.
And Chris, State Highway Patrol tells me the driver left the scene of the crash after hitting and killing a pedestrian. Now, this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows what this scene looked like earlier this morning. You can see authorities out there on I-85 North in Butner. This is near NC 56. State Highway Patrol tells me that a pedestrian was hit and killed by a car around 2 this morning. They are searching for the driver. They tell me they have been investigating for hours now. Of course, we're working to find out the identity of the person who was killed, as well as if the driver has been caught, if they're facing any charges. We do know that I-85 North has since reopened. Reporting live in Butner, Ali Kadibar, WRAL News.
Happening today, Raleigh City Council is expected to vote on a zoning request that would clear the way for giant towers at North Hills. Before that vote, people who oppose the plan will speak at a public hearing. Kane Realty wants to build 4 towers around Six Forks and Lassiter Mill Roads. Those buildings could be as high as 37 stories, which would make them the tallest in the city. City Council was expected to vote on the idea earlier this month, but delayed that vote to allow for more public comment. Some residents say they are opposed to the plan. They cite issues such as potential traffic congestion and environmental impact.
Growth is certainly welcome as people try to live in a suburban environment that's easily accessible to downtown. But the problem with that is that those expansions of North Hills have got to be within the planning that's been established for at least over 10 years.
Kane Realty tried a similar proposal in 2021, but withdrew it in 2023. It's unclear why the rezoning request was initially withdrawn. Today's City Council meeting is scheduled to begin at 1 o'clock. The double murder trial of Isaiah Ross resumes today in Orange County. Witnesses will be returning to the stand after the trial was postponed late last week. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live outside the courthouse this morning. Kelsey, the prosecution is set to continue making their case.
Yes, Renee, we are expecting for the prosecution to continue making their case this morning here inside the Orange County Courthouse. The court recessed on Friday because one of the attorneys had a family emergency. Then, of course, yesterday was the holiday, so there was no court. We've been staying on top of this case since the beginning. Isaiah Ross is accused of killing 14-year-old Lyric Woods and 18-year-old Devin Clark back in 2022. Several witnesses have already taken to the stand, including the medical examiner and the victim's parents. The medical examiner says Woods had 7 gunshot wounds and Clark had 6. Ross's attorneys say one of the victims was the aggressor, claiming Ross was acting in self-defense. And we're expecting to see the defense call all of their witnesses to the stand this week. The trial continues this morning at 9:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Orange County.
Happening today, a group of Buddhist monks will be making their way through Greensboro as they approach Raleigh, and eventually they plan to be in D.C. Last night, the monks addressed a crowd of people in Greensboro before stopping to rest for the night, and today they will be heading toward Climax, North Carolina, and other places. They're expected to be in Raleigh in just a few days. People we spoke with in the Triangle say they are excited to hear the monks' message of peace.
They really are strong. They're strong-willed of doing what they believe in, which is peace.
You know, there's a lot of hatred and things going on right now, and to show something that is peaceful, it's a good thing to see.
A spokesperson for the Walk for Peace says that the monks are expected to reach the Triangle this weekend, but as for where they're going to be staying, organizers say those details will be released soon. In fact, WRAL will keep you informed of the route, arrival times, and any public events. So keep the day up here on WRAL News and on our digital platforms.
The 3 men charged in a weekend shooting in Glenwood South in Raleigh are expected to appear in court today. This is just the latest crime to hit the social district in Raleigh's downtown in recent months. The most recent shooting happened early Sunday morning, and an uninvolved bystander was sent to the hospital after being hit by a stray bullet. The Glenwood South district can see thousands of people on any given weekend. Over the last few years, Raleigh police have taken steps to beef up security. That includes putting up barricades during peak hours and increasing police presence in the area. We spoke with a man who works at one of the businesses in the district. He says safety concerns have increased as the population has grown.
It's affected the way that we exist as a community. In fact, people have left and people are leaving because they don't feel safe in the area.
3 men were charged in this recent shooting. Stephen Bryant, Keyshawn Bryant, and Jaden Drawn are all accused of inciting a riot. Stephen Bryant is also charged with assault with a deadly weapon and discharging a firearm in city limits.
We are trying to learn new information about a large law enforcement presence in Clinton. Actually, this right here is video of that scene on Clinton Street from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And what we've done is reached out to Clinton police to find out what this situation was anyone injured, and what exactly those crime scene markers were on the ground for. Fayetteville police are also investigating an overnight crash. This happened near Cross Creek Mall, and we've reached out to police for more information on this case. Today marks 1 year since President Donald Trump was sworn in for his second term. He's recently celebrated some victories for his administration, including mortgage rates falling below 6%. However, others are deciding to focus on increasingly strict immigration enforcement. Protests are happening across the country because of this, including right here in the Triangle. In fact, there will be a protest happening today in Moore Square in Raleigh. People will gather to protest the Trump administration, specifically for recent ICE operations in Minnesota. There have been several protests in the Triangle recently because of the death of Renee Good. An ICE agent shot and killed her in Minneapolis this month. And today's demonstration is expected to start around 5 p.m.
Meanwhile, Chris, tensions remain high in Minnesota as President Trump threatens to deploy federal troops. The DOJ is investigating after video over the weekend appears to show protesters interrupting a church service. This video is from St. Paul. Demonstrators were heard shouting, "ICE out," and the name Renee Good. This happened after rumors circulated online that the pastor of that church is an ICE agent. Homeland Security declined to confirm if that was true.
Enrollment caps at 5 Wake County schools could soon be lifted, and this would make new opportunities for new families. The school board is expected to vote on lifting the caps today, and right now, the caps are meant to prevent families new to the area from enrolling with the goal to prevent overcrowding. However, the board is also expected to decide on a new cap in the fast-growing East Wake area as well. You can learn more on this topic in the education section of WRAL.com. And more schools could end up being closed on primary election day in Wake County. School is already canceled for most schools on March 3rd, but not for some year-round schools. The school board is expected to vote tonight to include them on that list. And this is designed to keep students out of school because the buildings are used as polling sites. Your time is 6:10 this morning. Tensions escalating. President Donald Trump is pushing for the U.S. to acquire Greenland, but European leaders do not appear to be on board. The latest measures America and other countries are taking.
Side contract over. The mayor of Cary is ending a consulting gig as the town is under scrutiny over its spending. Why the mayor says he's parting ways with that role.
And the Polar Express has arrived for today and tomorrow. I'll show you why it'll warm up a little bit, but of course we're still looking at the chance of some wintry weather this weekend. I'll show you what we know.
We do have a look at your winning Powerball numbers right here on your screen. 5, 28, 34, 37, 55 with the Powerball 17 and the multiplier 3.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It is 6:13. It's a quiet start out there this morning, but it is cold. Temperatures are continuing to drop. We tend to see the coldest temperature right around sunrise, so we'll see temperatures continuing to fall. So upper teens to mid 20s is where we'll end up this morning by around 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Heavy coats needed, hats and gloves and sunglasses. We'll actually have a nice bright day for it today. Our temperature is cold this morning, either at or below freezing, a little bit of a wind chill down into the 20s, and highs this afternoon only in the low 40s. Coming up, we're going to talk more about what could be a significant winter storm for the weekend. Ken?
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Rather quiet start to the morning commute. We do have a stalled vehicle in I-40 eastbound right near the Sam's Club shopping area, but we're not picking up any delays in that particular area, but just be mindful of that stalled vehicle and somebody probably changing a tire or something like that. But really, we're not seeing any delays, relatively speaking, on any of our major routes, short of a 1-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest and US 1. Coming up, we'll take a look at some of those drive times coming in to Durham County.
Yeah, as traffic changes, we know you'll keep us updated. New developments in Greenland this morning. Another group of Danish troops arrived in the country for exercises with NATO allies. Danish diplomats say the U.S. was made aware of their arrival ahead of time. This comes as tensions rise between the U.S. and Denmark. President Donald Trump is now threatening 10% tariffs on several European allies as he pushes to acquire Greenland. The president says the U.S. needs Greenland to counter Russian and Chinese operations in the Arctic region.
I don't think they're going to push back too much. Look, we have to have it. They have to have this done. They can protect it. Denmark, they're wonderful people. And I know the leaders are very good people, but they don't even go there. And, you know, because the boat went there 500 years ago and then left, that doesn't give you title to property.
These comments come hours after it was revealed that he told Norway's prime minister he was no longer obligated to think purely of peace after not being awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In response to the news, the president says he doesn't care about the Nobel Prize.
And I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center this morning, where Ukraine has hit, Russia that is, has hit Ukraine once again overnight, striking its power grid. We're going to give you a look at the aftermath as emergency personnel responding there on the scene. Ukraine was hit with more than 300 drones and ballistics and cruise missile in its latest nighttime attack on the power grid. According to President Volodymyr Zelensky, the attack knocked out heating to more than 5,600 apartment buildings in the capital. This comes after nearly 80% of the affected buildings have recently had their heating supply restored after previous attacks 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials are trying to keep the momentum of U.S.-led peace talks, but Zelensky saying that these latest attacks here from Russia is really undermining their efforts at this time.
Cary Mayor Harold Weinbrecht says that he is ending his contract with a consulting firm. He actually worked as a consultant for Withers Ravenel, and the firm worked with the town over the years. His role was recently scrutinized, though, because of an investigation into the town's finances. The mayor says that he never violated policies, but he is ending his work with the firm to avoid negative attention being directed at the company. As for the investigation, well, the SBI is looking into this.
Today, you can learn more about Raleigh Water's new self-service portal. It's hosting office hours for people today at 5 Point Center for Active Adults. That's happening from 11 to 1. Additional informational events are planned for next month.
Happening today, the American Red Cross is teaming up with the Chatham Community County Library there in Pittsboro to host a blood donation drive. The Red Cross says the drive is meant to address a recent shortage in blood. And today's event will be in the Holmes Family Meeting Room, and that's at the library from 10 to 3. All right, NBA action on WRAL tonight. It is a Texas team showdown. Spurs versus Rockets in Houston. Tip-off is scheduled for 8 p.m. And then we also have some college hoops action as well tonight. NC State will be on the road to play the number 18 ranked Clemson Tigers, and tip-off for that game is set for 7 p.m.
It is 6:18, and we just got done with the holiday weekend. We're looking ahead to the upcoming weekend and the potential for winter weather. And Elizabeth, this storm could bring us some serious impacts.
And it's really far away. You can see here it's about 3,000 miles away. So we have a lot of time to track it and get a really good idea of what it could do for us. Now, as opposed to last weekend when we really, we had a few pretty snow flurries, this could be a much more significant system, and I'll explain why. But here it is out here in the Pacific. If you think about it, we just don't have a lot of weather observations over the ocean, but we have a whole bunch of them over land. So once it starts moving over land, we'll get a lot of observations, a lot of information that we can collect from this storm, and that makes the computer models much more accurate than they are right now. So what we can tell you is a winter storm is likely over the weekend. It could be long duration. We could see this for parts of Saturday into Sunday, and then whatever falls may stick around for quite some time because it stays really cold. We could have accumulating snow. We could have ice that accumulates to the point that we have major power outages across the area. All of that will depend on the track. And as we get that more information in over the next couple of days, that track will become more apparent. So for the next few days, we'll be starting to talk about the types of precipitation you can see and the timing and the totals. But for now, we're talking about the pattern, and it looks like a good pattern. The high pressure system will be close to the Arctic, so it's going to be drawing in colder air as compared to last weekend when the high pressure system was down near the Gulf Coast. So this has a better chance to push in that really cold air that'll keep us below freezing. The low pressure system tracks near the Gulf. It'll pull up warmer air, of course, which holds more moisture. So we'll have more precipitation falling for a much longer time. Here's Wednesday, and we can start to see that low sliding eastward. A cold front slides across our area as we get into Thursday. Now, along that front on Friday, we could see a little bit of light rain. But then following that, we get the Arctic blast, and that low will continue to develop, and we'll have another coastal low that could pop up. You may be seeing on your phone some crazy numbers, amounts of snow, that sort of thing. Our WRAL weather app is our forecast, and we're not going to share anything with you that we don't feel confident in. It is our forecast that we come up with, so make sure you're looking at our weather app. What can you do now? Choose that reliable source here at WRAL. Consider your weekend plans. You may need to change them and prepare for power outages. Those are the things that you can start doing right now. Again, it's going to be a warmer day Thursday, a chance of showers, but Saturday and Sunday, we could see a significant winter storm. We're going to see some very, very cold temperatures along with this. And again, those will linger, all the way into Monday, Tuesday. So it's going to be a pretty big one, Ken.
Prepare early. Elizabeth, thanks. Hey, as you prepare to head out the door this morning, a rather quiet start to your morning commute, although traffic is beginning to pick up just a little bit. I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, these are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. But we have a stalled vehicle in I-40 eastbound right near Sam's Club, right off the interstate. Not seeing any delays in that particular area. We're also not seeing any delays on any of the major routes coming into the Raleigh-Wade County area. Similarly, we're not seeing any delays, sort of a 1-minute delay if you're using Highway 98 to get into Durham from Wake Forest this morning. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Time is 6:21. Undelivered memories. We're talking about dozens of brides telling WRAL they're out thousands of dollars because of one photographer. How 5 on Your Side is helping out.
And honoring Martin Luther King Jr., how children will benefit from volunteers after the MLK holiday, one book at a time. Volunteers across the Triangle gathered yesterday to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In Durham, a group collected books for children. The books will go to families throughout the city as a way to encourage literacy. Book Harvest has programs throughout the city meant to support children.
We want children to build their home libraries and see themselves as readers and learners from the very beginning. And so throughout their time, we have opportunities for them to gather books and to grow their own home libraries with the books that they most enjoy reading.
Last year, the group collected more than 40,000 books throughout the year.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
A sweet moment after the college football national championship and a rare sight at an NHL game last night.
And to talk about that this morning, we have Ken Smith now on What's Trending.
Yeah, Grissom, let's start with Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza, seen celebrating with his family after winning the national championship game. You can see him hugging his mom there. Mendoza has previously said his mom is his biggest fan and his inspiration.
Yeah, and his mom, she says that she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. This has been well documented. People have talked about this, as you see there, in a wheelchair. So this moment, clearly having her there and he can be there to embrace her, it's awesome.
Oh, how beautiful he could share that with his family.
Exactly. Well, this is how you don't see at a hockey game. And it happened last night in the Florida Panthers San Jose Sharks game. The team's goalies got into a fight. The two started trading punches with 14 minutes left in the game. Of course, the crowd definitely got into it, cheering that fight on.
A rare sight indeed. Both of them were sent to the penalty box, but did not leave the game. The Sharks won it, by the way, 4-1. But to go from opposite ends and, they must have had some beef.
100%.
But pure entertainment for the crowd.
Skating angry. Wow.
Thanks, Kim. Much more news to come. A person killed on I-85. Part of the interstate back open this morning after someone was hit by a car. The timeline for the investigation and getting the road back open.
Plus, clearing the way. High-rise towers could be coming to North Hills in Raleigh. The vote to move forward today and how you can even have a say.
And it's cold as you head out to the bus stop this morning. Temperatures are in the mid-20s. Wind chill is even colder. I'll let you know how long we're going to see these cold temperatures sticking around.